"This way," I called over my shoulder. Even if I had not felt the rift in the world's skin, as if it were a cut in my own, I would have known from the chaos in the streets where to find it. Elva was close on my heels. People made way for us as we ran, some of them calling out to ask me what had happened. As we got closer to the rift, we found people on the ground, some of them holding broken limbs, others crying in the arms of friends or loved ones. I ran by without speaking, but Elva called out as we ran that we would come back and help when I dealt with the danger. Optimist, I thought. It must have been hard for him to leave these people without stopping. Elva had spent the last few decades in the New Zone as the High Sheriff of the Dundalk Territories, someone who protected and looked after the people where he lived. However, the greater emergency at that moment was the damage to the world. The space around the great crack in the pavement was clear of people, though not of debris. I could see where a building had fallen into the opening, broken in half like a stick of candy. Rooms, furniture, chairs, rugs, wardrobes, and fireplaces all mixed together, as if in a child's toy box. People close to the edge had formed a human chain to help others crawl out of the building, lifting them as carefully as they could, until they reached what had once again become solid ground. "Is everyone out of there?" I called to those closest to the edge. "This is the last," a young woman in a city's guard uniform called to me over her shoulder, from where she was coordinating the rescue. I began to rub my palms together. "Can you get everyone further back from the edge?" I heard Elva calling out to people to back away. I pulled my hands slowly apart, bright green lines of light reaching from fingertip to fingertip. As I clapped my hands softly, over and over, the strands of light multiplied until they were beyond counting. I tossed them into the air, chanting a Faran aloud as the net formed by the light settled like a lace tablecloth over the ruined building. Almost immediately, the entire structure began to crumble, bricks and mortar returning to sand and mud, wooden furniture to branches and leaves, and so on. Finally, the whole thing disintegrated, dissolving into its original state of being, and slid into the fissure. I jumped in after it. A layer of my mind heard Elva calling my name, and wanted to answer, to tell him I was safe, but I could not break my concentration, not even to reassure him. The net of my own light caught me before I had fallen very far. I spread it thinner, until I could feel every inch of the fissure. Rocks, soil, bodies of insects, and bones older than the city itself. I thought about how I healed a broken bone, how I could see, feel the sharp edges, the places where the bone had chipped and pieces floated loose in the body. This break in the earth was just like that. Bigger, I told myself, but the same.